Hello and welcome to Technical Writing. So some years ago I had a student come to me and he said, we're working on this report topic in my office, and he said, everything we're writing in this class is really boring and I can't imagine anyone sitting down and reading it. And I said, yes, you have figured out the essence of technical writing. So why would you have to learn a form of writing that is boring and no one will read it, right? I assume that you are in this class because you have to be here. You're checking a box on your graduation worksheet, and that is absolutely fine. I consider that job security. Now, there may be one of you lovely people who just saw the description of technical writing in the catalog and thought it sounded like fun. Bless your strange little heart. That is wonderful, but most of you are here because you have to be. So, why do you have to study this boring form of writing? Well, my student was right, but there's a little bit more to it than just boring and no one reads it. First of all, we don't read technical writing in terms of moving from page 1 all the way to the end the way you would with a novel. We use it. So technical writing is the kind of writing that we use to get things done in the world. So if you have ever had a question about what course of action to take in a practical, physical world, you may have turned to religious texts or favorite novels for guidance in how to move forward as an ethical human being, a spiritual person. That's a wonderful purpose of writing, but different. Here we're talking about the physical, the practical. Is this a good business idea? Is this the best treatment for my child? What is this political candidate's voting record really? What do I do about this dangerous thing? And how do I do it? Those are the kind of questions that technical writing answers. Here are some examples. You've used technical writing probably every day since you were a teenager. If you read the back of your shampoo bottle, why you need to read the back of your shampoo bottle? At this point in your life, I assume that shampooing is fairly familiar to you, but were you to stop in the shower and read, lather, rinse, repeat? That is technical writing, and it can be as simple as that, as complex as a multi-volume report from the FDA. You do technical writing too, if you write a resume. If you work at a gas station and you have the unfortunate pleasure of being the person to clean the bathroom, and there's a little chart and you fill out what time it was when you cleaned the bathroom, you checked on the bathroom, that's technical writing. Technical writing is all around us. And when we read it for specific pieces of information that are going to help us accomplish something. And that almost never means reading it front to back. So, take for example, my chainsaw. I recently purchased a chainsaw. It was a big moment for me. I live in the suburbs, don't have a big yard. I'm not really a chainsaw owner, but I felt like it had come to that point in life where I too should own a chainsaw. So I bought a chainsaw, and I should have thought about this when I was in the store, when I looked at the size of the box. But I didn't, and I got it home and I realized it was not in one piece. That I had to assemble the chainsaw, which I did not feel good about, because I feel like dangerous pieces of equipment should be assembled by people in factories who know how to assemble them, not by amateur chainsaw owners like myself. But I got the thing out of the box and set all the pieces out, and I got the instruction manual, which had a lot of words in it, and I immediately flipped through to assemble your chainsaw. I actually bypassed a whole bunch of warnings and a lot of warranty information And there might have been something else in there, but I didn't even see it. I went straight to my question, which is, how do I put this dang thing together? Now, as I put it together and realized I was only about 40% sure that I was doing it right, then I went back and I looked at the warnings, because thinking like, okay, maybe if I look at the warnings, I can figure out at least what I'm doing wrong so that I won't cut my hand off. But I didn't read the whole thing, and I didn't read it in order. And that is what we call using a technical document, and that is how technical readers read, and you as the writer serve their needs by making your technical documents really easy to navigate, really easy to find the piece of information that that person is looking for, like that. And that person matters. So in an academic writing situation, like a history class say, you would write an essay that we would say reaches an academic audience. And so by that we mean your professor, your classmates, someone who is interested in things, who has some education. There's a pretty broad audience though. With technical writing, you're always going to be writing to a very specific audience. So I might add to what my students said, not only is it kind of boring, you never read technical writing for fun, and no one actually reads it in the same way that we would consider reading a novel. I might add to that definition the fact that your technical writing should be useless to most people. So think about my chainsaw manual. And by the way, I never got the chainsaw together, and I took it back to the store with the manual in the box. Definitely don't recommend that you buy that version. And I have yet to purchase another one. It has sort of chainsaw anxiety. So anyways, if you know a good brand of chainsaw, you let me know. But think about that chainsaw manual. The only people in the world who find any value in that document are people who bought that make and model of chainsaw, right? There are billions of people in the world who have no use in that document. Most people. The number of people who needed that chainsaw manual, not that it helped, because completely impossible to understand how I was supposed to put the thing together, but the number of people who hoped that that would be a useful document for them is so infinitesimal, is so small, because technical writing is focused on the needs of a very specific audience. Sometimes I get on my Writing 121 students for writing essays that start, ever since the dawn of time, people have had arms. Ever since the beginning of time, all parents have looked at their children. And I say, okay, yes, I know, maybe your high school English teacher told you to start your essay that way, but that is like the clip art of writing. So imagine I welcome you into this class, and I say, we're going to learn about writing. Look, here's a pencil. And you think, okay, right, she can download clip art, but that's not very useful. So information that is useful or applicable, I'm putting that in quotation marks, which means kind of not really, applicable to everyone, is not going to be that useful to anyone. Think about it like a movie. The movie that everybody likes, no one is going to love, because it's not specific enough to inspire your passion. Now, as you're thinking about your technical audience, your very specific audience who you want to give the very specific information that they need, like decent instructions for putting together their chainsaw, you also want to think about what you want to leave out. Because technical readers are busy, right? We are at 9 minutes and 7 seconds into this video. And if I was on YouTube and you just found me like randomly looking for a definition of technical writing, you would never listen to 9 minutes. I am going on and on. It's a little bit too much. Imagine if it was even worse and I started back in the days, 1800s, when technical writing was first a field, and you'd be like, okay, if you're a history buff, maybe you'd think it was fun, interesting, but even then you'd be like, why do I need to know this? I just need to know what this class is about so that I can do a decent job and get a good grade, and why are you going off in this long backstory? So, you want to provide everything the reader needs and nothing they don't, You want to be really specific about who your reader is, what they need to get out of the document. You need to make it really easy for them to find their place in the document. And if you have ever put together that chainsaw or failed to put together that chainsaw, you know that be it boring, be it kind of dry, be it the sort of thing you don't really want to read, technical writing is essential to your life, right? You have used bad technical writing and it has made you mad. And you've used good technical writing and got stuff done easily and quickly. And you've been pleased. I'll leave you with one last thought. When we talk about technical writing, I put a lot of emphasis on getting things done in the world practically and tangibly. How do I build this bookshelf? But there is another component to keep in mind as you are becoming a technical writer, and that is that at any given time you may have multiple goals. So right now my goal is to provide you content on what technical writing is. I want you to finish this video and say, oh, okay, I got it. I know what technical writing is. I know what this class is about. I want you to get a few pointers and tips, things to keep in the back of your mind as you write your first assignment. So you're saying to yourself, well, if that was her goal, why does she keep going off about the chainsaw? Right? Like, we don't need to know your whole long history with your chainsaw. That's not even your chainsaw because you took it back. Like, isn't that extraneous, not what I need extra stuff? Arguably, maybe. But, counter argument, I have two goals with this video. One is to provide you information. The other is to establish a connection with you. I want you to think of me as a friendly, approachable person whom you can relate to. Maybe you have a chainsaw. Maybe you don't have a chainsaw. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I could help her put that chainsaw together. I know how to do that. You know, she may be the boss of technical writing, but I can put a chainsaw together like that. You may be thinking, yeah, I've tried to put things together myself and they didn't work, and so, okay, I sympathize. So my goal is to present myself as an approachable and friendly person who you feel comfortable coming to, asking questions, writing to, communicating with. Because if you feel that way, you will be more successful in my class. So I'm accomplishing two goals, hopefully, conveying information, but then also establishing a relationship. So if I've been successful, you feel comfortable coming to me with questions or concerns. You are looking forward as much as possible to the rest of the term. You know a little bit more about technical writing, and you are going to complete your homework for this week fabulously with A+ quality, and we will get launched in this wonderful new term.